class, everyone. Today is a new, old type of video. I'm not really sure what quite to call this right now. But basically, we're going to be going through and kind of recapping and showing all the counters that we used in our previous GAC stream. This is something that I want to be a regular part of all of the content here on YouTube, for this to be releasing 3 times a week in accordance with the GAC schedule. It's also just a really good reference to have counters, and if anyone can't really make the stream, or this 2-hour streams are just too long, hopefully this video will be a lot shorter, it'll be a lot more convenient, and it will still be really entertaining. So the reason why we're actually able to do this now, this is very important for me to say, is that through supporters through our GoFundMe, as well as directly through Twitch, have enabled us to actually buy a gaming computer. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who was involved in that, anyone who supported in any way, shape, or form. You guys are the best. Appreciate you a lot. This video would not be happening right now if it weren't for you guys. So really appreciate that. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. I do request a little bit of patience. Still kind of new to this, so if there's any audio issues or any slides that are flipping, which I've already noticed both those two from the stream, not the recording, please do mention that in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see improved, if there's anything you'd like to see done differently. I am more than open to suggestions, and quite honestly, I think we will need them for this to be successful. So open to constructive criticism, of course. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to the GAC. So one of the things this guy did was, and we'll show everything once we get to the end of the video. Don't really have a way of showing that without kind of spoiling what ends up happening here. But our opponent decided to set a ton of GLs on his bottom wall. He set JMK, he set SLKR, he set Ray, and he set JML, which was kind of weird. And we really needed to get through that to be able to have a chance to win. So we had to take some really risky calls here. So this is going to be the first battle. We're taking in JML versus JMK, and the reason why we can't take in Jedi Knight Luke or Jedi Knight Revan to make this a really clean fight is because they're needed for SLKR. We don't have any other option. Our opponent has 2 more GLs than we do. We're severely outmatched. He has like 300 more relic levels, so we're really trying to fight above our pay grade or just above our weight limit. So you'll see that we opened up here. We did not go first. That's not a huge deal. As long as you're able to increase cooldowns on JMK in the very beginning, that's very helpful because that keeps him from putting out damage immunity more and you getting stuck behind that. One thing that really did help with this, and we see it right here, is the fact that Mace is here and not GK. I didn't show the mods beforehand, but he only has 60k health, which is wildly less than GK. GK should have at least twice that with proper modding. And one of the ways that actually aids a lot as well is JMK, he calls the weakest unit to assist whenever another character assists. So Mace is constantly getting called to assist here, and he is wildly less effective than, let's say, Cat or Gas. Gas being here is also a bit strange. But you guys can see we're able to get through Mace quite handily. We go ahead and revive JMY at first chance. The reason why I was so comfortable doing that is because we are about to get Jedi Master Luke's ult as well, and as soon as we get his ult, Jolie's cooldowns are gone, so we can go ahead and revive whoever it is that's dead by that point. I think one of the things that also does make this fight significantly easier is the fact that the AI really kind of misplays using JMK's ultimate, and they are not able to consistently ignore taunt and just burn down our Jolie. Our Jolie is only R4, so the fact that he is tanking quite a bit of hits from a team that is almost entirely R8 is quite impressive. So we're getting towards the end. At this point, Cat's dead and most of our team is standing. They're not ignoring taunt. There really is nothing they can do to keep us from winning at this point. So this is really good. And this, without spoiling too much, this really sets up the rest of this stream, or the rest of this match, for success. Because once JMK is taken down this way, this totally was able to free up the rest of our Jedi to beat SLKR without a Galactic Legend, which, as I said, we were outmanned 6-4 here. Our opponent has all 6 Galactic Legends, whereas we were lacking Rey and Lord Vader. So this was very important. So speaking of that fight, we should be getting that to here in a second, but it wasn't too rough of a fight. The SLKR and Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Knight Revan. He did not have a very tanky lobster. I think he might have had 1 health primary and 1 protection primary. So it was not like a full defense mod, and if it was, I think that would have created very serious problems for Jedi Knight Luke, as he's only R7. But overall, this fight went it's going to go pretty well. Jedi Knight Revan himself, I do need to get more relics on him. He's only relic 1, and I used to kind of use the excuse, we call it excuse, that I wanted him to always proc Savior in the beginning, but after talking with some pretty smart people and looking at the counter itself, I don't think that's really necessary. As long as he's going before Hux, there's really no large danger, which is very hard for that to happen. So you guys saw I changed up this usual strategy from this counter. We did not use Hoda's Foresight on everyone at the very beginning. We actually went to go put the buff out because ever since Jedi Knight Luke's nerf, I found that he lacks a little bit of DPS when trying to kill Lobster, so I wanted that to be out there immediately. And as long as we landed the ability blocks, which we did, everything went well. Now we did put ourselves in a little bit of a pickle here, because Jedi Knight Luke actually, in a way that we didn't want, one-shot First Order Stormtrooper, which is not good, because then Lobster got to come out early, and then Lobster got to hit, and he got to clear Foresight from Jedi Knight Revan, which meant Jedi Knight Revan got killed. Now this is a pretty crucial moment here. We almost did something really dumb. We almost wasted a hit and killed Lobster, but instead we go for the ability block in SLKR and really keep him contained for the most part. Now we were able to kill Lobster, and SLKR just didn't have the ultimate charge yet to the point where we're able to hit him quite a bit, and really he's just not able to tank it versus Jedi Knight Luke. So that battle went super smooth. Again, I think those two battles with the Jedi were very key. Now this here, I want to talk about this a minute before we get too much into the video. We're about to take Gas versus Rey, and I think a lot of people are already thinking, oh, I know how this is going to go, because if you look at the comp here at the top, it's Rey, Double Bro, Haldo, and JTR, and this combo is really, really, really nasty for Gas. Quite frankly, it's a no-no, and for most situations, you don't really even have a chance. I'll go ahead and pull up before the fight starts. And we were talking about this as we were looking at this. I didn't really think this would work, but this was the only shot we really had at being able to full clear. We didn't necessarily need the full clear to win, but we wanted to go for it. But yeah, I'll show you here. This counter in general, this is not a great idea. It is a 20% win rate, which is really stinking low for a fight. You really want to be, depending on the complexity of it and the mod intensity, you really want to be at 80% and up. That being said, let's see how this fight went. And if there's any constructive criticism, feel free to let me know. But I really like to reduce turn meter on Resistance Zero Finn. By the way, this team was terribly modded. Rey was okay, but most of the team only had like plus 80 speed, which is bad. Like on a player of this level, of this caliber, they should have been technically way better. But that being said, it wasn't exactly necessary to give us a bunch of issues. So the bros being here in general without Haldo and without JTR is kind of one thing, because they produce enough damage to occasionally make Gas sit without it being a whirlwind or ult, which is dangerous because then your clones just get killed. But the thing that's really, really annoying here is since the bros are inspired, Haldo is going to counter. So whenever we go to tear off her taunt, like with Arc or Fives or whoever, she's basking and she's putting Foresight back out. Whenever she puts Foresight out, whenever it gets cleared, she taunts. So this pretty much makes it, not impossible, but makes it very RNG dependent to be able to get a good kill in on Resistance Zero Finn. So we're really in a tight spot for most of this fight because of that. We're able to get some good hits in. We're able to reduce a lot of max health on Haldo. But at the end of the day, it's, again, yeah, I don't know how I can get through this without spoiling it too much. But it proves to be very difficult, and I'm really not sure if there's a better way to do this. I know that we've done this against other raid comps where it has been a lot more successful, where we have not really had this problem at all, versus bad raid comps, because you can either kill Resistance Zero Finn, or he's just not there to begin with, and you can go right for Rey, without having to worry about the taunters, because really what you don't want to happen is for the hits to line up so that Rey gets 2 turns back to back, whether it's 2 whirlwinds or an ult and a whirlwind, because then you just lose all your clones. So like I said, we're back to kind of this position of Resistance Zero Finn has Foresight, so that's not great. And at the same time, we're not really able to go right for Rey, and now Fives is really low health. He's probably gonna die, and then once he dies, again, Foresight just went right back to Resistance Zero Finn. So really not a lot we can do there. I think at this point, I kind of figured out in the fight that maybe we should just try to kill Hall, though. But as you can see, completely irrelevant. She was able to whirlwind, knock down all of our characters at the same time. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Now, pretty much what we're doing here is we know that we're going to be taking in SLKR to come and clean this up. But I'm trying to figure out what is going to make it the easiest. Can we actually get a kill on Haldo? Can we get a kill on Resistance Hero Finn? So my mindset here was, we'll clear the Foresight first with the kick. And then we'll go in for the big hit, and the big hit will still make contact with Finn because the Foresight will be gone by this point. So it took a minute to actually decide that. I think we were consulting chat because we had a whole bit on the clock here. But that is what we ended up doing. Wasn't enough to kill Finn, sadly, so that was a bummer. But Haldo did eat it, so that's, I mean, it's better than nothing. I'll take that all day. And they were almost able to kill Resistance Hero Finn as well, so didn't quite make it through that fight. We don't go right back into that. I think I was trying to avoid a little bit of tilt. So we went and took in CWAT versus Bastila JML. And this one really wasn't that big of an issue at all. In fact, I kept saying that unnecessarily during the stream. If this team had Watt, it might have been slightly more problematic, where we had to kind of wait out the battle with C's Mastery. But at the end of the day, it's just, they go down and they go down pretty hard. Much as some people may not like the term, but this is a hard counter. There is very little that you can actually do that will mess this up and is going to cause issues for you on offense. We did link Jedi Knight Luke just because he does a lot of damage. Jedi Master Luke we had to link because of Bastila forcing a pre-taunt onto him. But yeah, for the most part, I don't even know if we needed to do that. We probably could have linked Jedi Master Luke and Bastila for funsies and still came out of this just fine. Yeah, so they do increase our cooldowns a little bit, so that slows things down just slightly. But at the end of the day, it's really not enough to get through us. We're able to zap Jedi Luke, and I wanted to go after Hoda here because you don't get a lot of opportunities to get to him, and sometimes he just kind of stays around the background, being a little pain in the butt. So we have him linked, we have Barris linked now, and now we're just gonna go for the kill on Bastila, because we'll be able to zap both Hoda and Barris, so we might as well already start working on damage on Bastila. It worked, and at this point, I just hit auto. There's nothing Jedi Master Luke can do here. We don't have a choice to link someone. When the zap comes, he'll use it. It's fine. There's nothing auto can really mess up at this point. And we weren't at risk of a timeout, but still. I liked how that went quite a bit. 65, really can't complain about that. I'll take that trade every day. That's one of those things that I really like having C around. Because before I had C, Jedi Master Luke was a very big problem. Alright, now we're going in to clean up versus this raid. We decided on Daka Zombie, just so that we could probably tank a Whirlwind and be fine. And then I didn't want to go in too low. Like, I actually did want to put in other characters. We put in Royal Guard just because that way when we swipe immediately like we did, he would be taunting. And First Order officers just to kind of get that going. The reason why we didn't take any other good First Order is specifically because we're there on defense. We tried to go for the stun versus Ray there with Daka. Didn't stick, it usually does, so I don't really know what that's about. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But yeah, so with this team already being weakened, and SLKR just being the boss that he is, Ray went down pretty easily. And there's, like I said, I needed to fix some stream configurations because there is just a little bit of our frames jumping, but for the most part, I think that was pretty understandable. So we got to the back wall at this point, and the back wall was pretty much garbage, which was kind of shocking, but I guess he put 4 GLs down on defense and didn't expect us to get to the back, and then we did. And so we're pretty much what we tried to do at this point was figure out what is going to be the best matchup, what's going to be the best counter. And this team in particular was weird because we've done we do Troopers versus Darth Revan a lot, but this HK didn't have any Zetas. So for those of you who might be watching right now and are gonna freak out when we go to do the stomp on range, we were totally allowed to do that. I really don't know what HK does in this fight if he doesn't have that Zeta, especially if he's gear 12. Yeah, so we're hitting Marauder a lot just because I know that HK is going to go down immediately, so if we don't need the turn meter, there's really no reason to go after him. All right, Marauder going to turn as he does. That is normal, expected, and arguably wanted, because now that he has the ferocity, his defense will be much more manageable. We were able to get the turn meter for killing HK. We were able to get through Marauder easily now. Again, the ferocity's on there. That made things a lot easier. Now that we have the AoE lined up, we always like to use this on Malik when it's just the two of them. And Mr. Punchy Punch Man takes his kill. All right. That's that. Again, we're just kind of trying to figure out what the best team is. There is something I should mention. In addition to the 4 Galactic Legends that he had on the bottom wall, he stuck Lord Vader on the top wall. And it was a pretty good Lord Vader team. It had Maul in it, and it had some other fast characters. So troopers weren't really an option. So we're really just avoiding that at this point. We're just trying to pick up the other teams to try to get as high of a score as we can. We go ahead and take CLS versus Bounty Hunters here. This is an Ami Zam, fully relic team. And I will not lie, I am really surprised. I am really, really surprised Zam survived. I've never done this kind of before. I've been told that it works a lot. And I was just shocked because my CLS is modded really, really high offense. Like a ton of offense, R8. One of the very few R8 characters I have. I love him. And the Zam was poorly modded. She had like a crit chance primary for the triangle. She survived the initial shot. But as you can see here, it made literally no impact on the battle. The CLS is just such a monster. And we gained so much turn meter in the very beginning that it really didn't matter. He put this weird kind of Nute team on defense as well. Someone had suggested Bad Batch in the chat at the time of the stream, and really that lined up perfectly. He didn't have Qui-Gon. He does have Qui-Gon Jinn's Omicron, didn't put it on defense. But then he did have this on defense, didn't have Grievous. I kind of like those teams on offense, though. I like Qui-Gon Jinn on offense, I like Grievous on offense. That being said, Bad Batch still had something pretty decent to go after, considering the whole team was entirely relicked. Okay, what we're doing here is we're trying to use Omega's assist on the exposed to drop Nute so that we don't have to worry about him. And then I don't want this guy taunting again. But we just go ahead right after the kill on Brute. I don't think we get it, but we get the 2-turn stun to stick, and there it is. Yeah, this is just a beautiful sight to behold. This is something that we were almost kind of able to do back when they were like actually the badly geared Bad Batch, and they were like gear 11. There's really no strategy to this. My Echo is 360 speed. He's faster than everyone on their team. Their team wasn't fast enough so that Tech wouldn't get to go next, and we stunned him, and that was game. But yeah, so that team went down, and now we're going after, like I said, this back row was mostly garbage. It was like all the GL Rec Regret teams. I'm not sure how we should properly name them, but I was expecting something a little stronger. We had pretty strong teams going into it, and we just decided that we were going to use 3-man Qui-Gon Jinn. This is the Omicron, of course. But Jedi Anakin and Barriss. In my experience, the AI leads terribly. Just does terrible against this team. Because Barriss is only gear 12. They love to hit her. And every single time she dips below, Jedi Anakin gets ticked off and just blows up the team. And they can't kill either of them because the team is essentially invincible until Qui-Gon Jinn dies. So as you guys saw there, they hit Barriss, ticked Anakin off, and here we are. So I took my own bounty hunters on defense. I typically like to leave them. I took them on offense. I'm sorry. Typically like to leave them on defense. We did not vouch for that this time around, just because I didn't know what comp JMK was going to set, and if we might have needed to use our JMK slash our JMK 2-shot between bounty hunters and gas. Unfortunately, he put gas on his team, and his gas was faster than my Mando, who would have crit my Mando. And then once he crit my Mando, that would have been game over. So we're kind of doing things carefully in here to not tick Biggs off, but I mean, these teams are just night and day. We finally got our bounty hunters clocked correctly, so they're going at the exact speeds they need to. And then this last fight, I don't like this fight. I mean, Empire's just a way better team than Phasma is, so that wasn't hard, but I really don't like taking Vader in against a team that A, does really well when you debuff them, which is Xylo, and B, you can't crit, because Vader gets so much bonus crit damage from Merciless Massacre. Like, it really doesn't feel like we're doing any damage to them. Yeah, even on the Culling Blade there, he had like 5 debuffs. We do go ahead and use the Armor Shred on Xylo just so his stacking defense is less relevant. Fracture as well for fun. And then Mara Jade, I mean, she just takes complete control of this battle. Like I said, at the end of the day, The Empire team is a significantly better team than the Phasma team, so even though they don't really have the ideal synergy, it doesn't matter. We do play a little bit of machine gun Palp, just because everyone has shock instead of going for the stun. I should have used the stun at some point, though, just so they didn't get a turn, which one of them is about to. Yeah, at that point, I should use the stun. So at risk of losing banners there. But luckily, Thrawn exists, so we didn't. And yeah, there's really nothing this team can do. Without Hux there to stop TM, just roll them. I do really, really like this Empire team in general for offense. We're currently working on Lord Vader, and once he's done, this is kind of going to go away. So yep, there was the win there. Easy enough. Now this next one, we just kind of did this for fun. There wasn't like a method to this, or like a theory, or like we're going to kill half the team and go after the rest. We just took in, it was the only team we had left, and I just want to see how far we could get for fun. I have tested this in Arena, Grievous versus Lord Vader, just to see if he can be a part of a reliable two-shot, and the answer is no. The most luck that I had was actually with a team that took out B2 and put in Watt, so Grievous, B1, Nute, Watt, and Magna. That team actually kind of did okay, but I think a lot of it did revolve on getting the right cleanses from Magna countering. But yeah, because Maul is able to kill someone right off the bat. We're trying to kind of manage our attacks. We're trying to use the AoEs to put out target lock. We're trying to use Gigi's Crawl to build our max health so that we end up doing more damage. But I mean, it's kind of similar to the last fight. At the end of the day, the Lord Vader team is just superior to the Grievous team, as much as I love Grievous, and we just didn't have a shot here. But yeah, we did it for fun, just to see how far we could get. It's always useful to have more tools in your head to kind of know what's going on against what. And in this one, actually, we got a little bit farther than I thought we would. Healing immunity really came in handy. And particularly Grievous's massive amount of bonus turns for everyone dying, really took a number on his team. Obviously was not enough. So when the AoE might kill Maul there, it didn't get close. His Maul was pretty well modded, so that did not help. Still a little bit of health from Royal Guard, and that's pretty much the fight. That pretty much ends the GAC as a whole. I was very happy with it. I might need to figure out a better way to do this, but this is the end result. So just to show you guys a little bit of what we were working against, like I said in the beginning, we had to clear these 4 Galactic Legends in the bottom wall. We had our issue there with gas, but SLKR cleaned up handily. Because yeah, the plan would have been to take SLKR up here and then just have gas one-shot the raid team, but didn't exactly go as planned. That's fine. You can see we handily got the win here. That's this back wall of garbage. And then to show you guys a little bit of what I said on defense. I should probably be taking videos of this beforehand so that there's a little bit more context of what's going to happen. So he actually took 3 fights against my GMK. I didn't see that until just now. When he opened up for his attacks, he just he one-shot my top wall, which I'll go ahead and show that, which was really fodder. Like I put so many Gear 12 teams on defense this round. So Gear 12 Dash, Gear 12 Iden, kind of geo requisite teams, really nothing good. But I knew that he typically sets 5 to 6 GLs, and I was really banking on the fact that he would put every single counter to JMK possibly imaginable on defense, and he did. Gas, Bounty Hunters, all the Galactic Legends that could have beaten JMK and just didn't get close. So he one-shot that. I'm curious to see what happened with Ness got some holds here, Darth Revan got a hold. I want to see that, actually. I would be very curious to see what happened in there. And then Fleets, last I'd seen, he took one try. Yeah, he took one try on Executor. I don't know what failed he had. He typically takes his Executor for offense, so probably just got really bad RNG or what there, but I think he has an R9, so that is going to be it for today. I guess it's just as a preview. We do already have our next match lined up. We'll be streaming this on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, a little bit earlier than that, probably this week. But yeah, Tide Docton, really very similar situation to our last match. The guy has 300 more relic levels than us. He actually is more than the previous one. His mods aren't quite there in comparison to the last guy, but still really good. Got all 6 GLs. He has Star Killer. He has all 3 of Star Killer's Omicrons. So it's going to be a good fight. And I almost don't want to win this because we're getting to a point on the leaderboard where I think we're going to have multiple weeks of 0-3s, because right now we're the highest we've ever been on the leaderboard. Where are we? It's kind of have an idea. We're definitely not up there. My ranking. Oh yeah, this is getting really dangerous really quickly. So we are currently within the top 1,500, which is significantly higher than we've ever been. So that's gonna be it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, any constructive criticism to the video, to the stream, audio, visual, something you would like to see, something that I'm doing wrong, please let me know in the comments. And until the next time, stay awesome.